Hello and welcome to Plot Twisters.
This is a podcast where we take movies and twist the plot to see if we can make them better. And if not, more 2021.
Recently, we've been talking about teen movies from the 90s.
On this episode, He's All That from 2021.
I'm Anders and I'm a joke. I'm a punchline with a disgusting mucus-themed nickname.
I'm Emma, and I am your biggest supporter. No one has more faith in you than I do. But until you turn things around, don't talk to me. Love ya!
I feel like you sent me that exact text in our life.
Yeah. Never speak to me again until you've sorted yourself out, but I am 100% behind you.
I support
at
you,
all times.
But go away until you're better.
Yeah.
That what doesn't make us. That what do they say? That what makes us
doesn't
strong,
kill you makes you stronger?
Those things that don't kill you, stronger, I guess.
Okay, Yoda. Hey, guess what?
Chicken butt.
Somebody took our thing that we've created in our podcast world and brought it into the real world and made it a thing.
Plot Twisters predicted it.
This is a thing that we do. Somebody did the thing that we do.
Yeah.
And they twisted it and they made it. This is a thing that we would have made up.
I can't believe that somebody took our idea and made it in the real world. And it makes me think, it makes me nervous and it makes me scared and it makes me honored and it makes me not be able to sleep at night. We're powerful. We're powerful. How does it feel to know you're powerful, Emma?
All this time, all this stuff we've been making up. Is all of it gonna come true? Oh God!
It can't all come true because if it does, oh my goodness gracious, the world will end.
This is awful.
Or be reborn. I know, isn't it inside that y'all? Hey, everybody, folks at home, people in your podcasts, applications, and you're in your headphones, and you're in your car, and you're driving to work, and you're thinking, will I be late? Did I eat breakfast? And what time do I have to do that big report? Stop thinking about your life and start thinking about ours. We predicted a thing on our podcast, and now it's came true, and I don't know what to do with it. And of course, that's the movie He's All That. We predicted it.
There's a moment in this when I was watching this film, He's All That, on Netflix currently, where I was like, oh, this is the bit where I say, oh, what if they're all TikTokers or something? You know? And then it's like, oh, and maybe, what's her name? Rachel Lee Cook is in it, but she's like not Ladybug. She's the mum or something. Yeah, sounds great.
That. You said that exact thing.
Did I? Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure that came up. Yo. What's that thing where you believe in something, you eat, pray, love it, right?
And
then
it.
You manifest it,
yeah.
and then you open the front door and it's real.
Yeah.
And then remember in Jumanji when they're like, oh, maybe monkeys are coming, and then they were monkeys?
Yeah.
Right?
I do believe in fairies.
Yeah.
I do.
Do we need to do an exorcism or some sort of do we need to cleanse the room with sage? I'm really worried.
Powerful.
And I'm not joking, and I'm sorry, Netflix, and I know it's probably a good idea, and we'll talk about it in a second, but you, Emma, you and I, in episode 2 of our podcast Plot Twisters, we came up with a theme, and that theme was let's twist the movie, and we talked about She's All That, and then we twisted the movie, and the movie that we twisted was He's All That, and then like a while later they made the movie He's All That. Well, not exactly. It didn't play out like that. You tell the story.
I'll tell the story.
You tell how it happened.
Before I tell the story, should we explain what we're doing here?
No. Yes? Maybe. Fine. Let's explain. What are we doing
Let's explain. What are we doing here? This is you're currently listening to a bonus episode. We are on our season 1 interlude.
Bonus!
We've been on our summer break from junior year.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready for senior year. But we had to come back not only to talk a little bit about season 2, but also because of this heckin' movie, we had to talk about it.
We came out of our radio silence just to talk about this dang
Yeah,
movie.
we're breaking our silence. We're addressing the facts, the rumors. He's all that. It happened.
It did.
So a fun little fact about episode 2 of season 1 of our podcast is that we actually re-recorded.
You tell them how the sausage is made.
I know, that one thing that we never do.
Yeah.
We this is the first time either of us has ever done anything like this, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was very much a learning process. Both of us had to upskill in various areas.
Right.
But we really wanted to do it. So, and also we were in lockdown and we're bored. So I think it was because you watched Never Been Kissed and you were like, hey, you need to see this and we need to talk about it. And I was like, okay, podcast? And you were like, cool.
That's how it happened.
But we actually, we recorded a few episodes and then we went back and we redid some of them. So we redid the whole first episode.
Right.
And we also re-recorded the twist to She's All That. Because I think it just wasn't that funny the first time around. And we were doing it a bit more seriously. And we realised that we wanted it to be more comedy based than serious based. I mean, I'm saying that I'm usually the one who's like bringing everyone down.
Well, first of all, you're not always a downer. You just have a perspective on the world that isn't necessarily. Some people see the glass half full. Some people see the glass half empty. You look and you acknowledge all of the scratches and the smudges on the glass, and also recommend that maybe they should have used a cup. But also, we need that kind of insight in the world because we need every bit of armor we can get, right, when we're facing the world and the unknown. We started a podcast during the depths of lockdown, and at first we thought this might be a film critique podcast, but it turned out what it actually was just two good
goofers.
Friends just goofing around and mucking it up. So we recorded part of, go back and listen. It sounds the same, but you'll know now that the second half of the second episode we re-recorded. But the first time we did it, the twist we suggested was, what if it's he's all that?
Yes.
Instead of what if it's he's all that?
And as a special treat, listeners, for checking in on us, here is a short clip from that never before heard plot twist for episode 2.
Let's go back in time.
So, shall we try and figure out how we can make this film better?
Oh, yeah.
Here's what it is. He's a jock. He's actually a nice guy underneath, but he's doing all this bad stuff because of his friends and he's pressured into it. And then he meets this girl who convinces him to be a good guy, and then he overcomes all his demons and he gets into Dartmouth, and he's all that.
I love it. He's all that. The way to change this movie is it's actually about Freddie Prinze Jr. And to be fair, that is a more compelling story. Not because he's a man, but because it.
Great. Okay. Well, I think we've solved that one.
Okay, Emma.
Wow.
We were so young then.
We were so young and foolish, and audio was not as good.
Do you remember back then when we didn't know that the pandemic would be over by now and everything would be fine?
Yeah.
Don't look outside. Remain indoors. Do not go outside. Close your windows.
Do not talk about the event. Yeah.
Do not talk about the event. So we predicted it. We're like that thing where people are like, The Simpsons predicted it better. We predicted it.
Let's talk about this movie briefly, and then let's talk about some other stuff.
Question. Do we have to talk about this movie briefly?
I think so.
Okay, fine.
Surely.
That's my comedic way of saying it wasn't great.
No, it's not good, is it? It's not very good.
Can I just say PSA to the listeners, if you haven't seen She's All That, and if you haven't listened to our episode 2 about She's All That, you should go back and do that, right? Watch the movie, listen to our episode, and then also, for posterity, I'd recommend that you log on to Netflix.com and you watch He's All That, okay? We'll wait. We'll pause. Can we wait for everybody?
That. Yeah,
okay.
We'll wait. Are they gone?
I think they left.
Oh. Okay, cool. What do we do now?
I don't know. I mean, now that everybody's gone, you know that thing when you've had a party and it's really nice to see all your friends and stuff?
But then they've all left.
But
it's
they've all
nice.
left, and it's actually nicer when they've all gone.
Yeah.
Because you can have all the snacks, right? Mm-hmm. You can put on whatever music you want. You don't have to make small talk. You don't have to pretend to be anybody that you think your friends and family need you to be, and you can just really be you. Also, you can put on sweatpants.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing that people have left.
Yeah, you just.
Oh no, they're coming back.
Oh,
they're coming back.
Oh,
They're
okay.
coming back.
Hey,
They're coming.
hi.
Hey, everybody. Hey. Did you like
Hi.
the movies and podcasts? I hope you're well. Now you're up to speed. He's All That. It's a 2021 remake, revisit, new chapter.
It's
I
not.
don't
It's
know what
kind
they
of not.
call
It's
it.
It's like it's not a remake. It's not a sequel. It's
No.
just
No.
what is it? It's like a reference movie.
It's like,
But can I just say, and this is actually the entire reason why I wanted to talk about this film, particularly if you've just listened to our She's All That episode again. I spend most of that episode talking about how She's All That is a remake of a remake of a remake of a remake, or a rework of a rework
go all the way
of
back
a story.
to AD or whatever, and then
right?
Pygmalion and
this is
My Fair
another
Lady.
one.
It's another one. Stop. Hey, Hollywood, come up with a damn new idea, okay?
It was also written by the same guy, Arlie Fleming Jr., but without our good friend M. Night Shyamalan, who's not involved, as far as I'm aware.
It was missing the Shyamalan shine. I'll tell you that for free.
Well, what did you think? What did you think?
All right. My hot take was, approx 10 minutes into the movie, I was thinking, wow, this might be a better structure than She's All That. For a second, I was lured into thinking, maybe they got it, because there was more backstory to the Zach character.
Yes,
right.
That was good,
and I actually really liked that. Okay, and then the whole movie was bad, and bad for two reasons. First, acting is a gift, not a right. Okay, you have to be good at it. I thought, to be in movies, but in this movie, you could just be whoever you are, and who you are is not a very good actor. No offense to the children, no offense to the people who are in this movie. Okay, there were three people that I thought, maybe four at a stretch, that I thought did a pretty good job. The first was Rachel Lee Cook. The second was the principal, who happened to be that dude from Spring Break.
Yeah,
right.
Matthew
and I don't know. I like the goth girl, and I like the best friend of the Laney Boggs character was okay.
Can I tell you why I think why it didn't work? I think that it almost felt over processed.
Yeah,
it was like a committee.
It was auto-tuned.
Yeah, a committee came together and were like, "What do the kids like?" and just threw a bunch of things together.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
it felt like there was. I agree with you that the backstory for Addison Rae's character, so the Zach character, the makeover was definitely a lot stronger, which is that she had like a real motivation, which is that she needed money to go to college. So that was good. Yeah. I think the overall kind of structure, it was a bit more fleshed out. The world felt a bit more real to me. I mean, that might be because I'm, I suppose, slightly closer to the right age. Maybe I'm kind of actually in the middle. Hey, where's my She's All That? I never got one for my age.
It's High School Musical. Your She's All That was High School Musical.
I would say probably, for me, it was probably the film Easy A, which hopefully we'll get to do at some point, because I love that film.
See, I want to do that movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
We haven't done the 2000s yet.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe season 3?
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I think what came out of that was actually two different films meshed together, which is there was the She's All That part of the film, and then there was the Paget, that character pretending not to be poor, was the other one. And there were two. That's two different things. That's
a different movie.
Which also exists as, a common thing. But I think they kind of didn't quite mesh together, because it was like, if she knows about pretending to be someone else, why is she so keen to get somebody else to do the same thing? And he also his transformation into slightly angry guy with long hair to still kind of angry guy with short hair. It was very superficial, and it's just like, what's she really trying to do here, and what's his Yeah, it was just kind of...
She invited him to a party and cut his hair. All
Yeah.
right? That's not the same as bringing Lainey Boggs into the cool kid ecosystem, right? Of She's All That, okay?
And also, I think in our She's All That episode, I talk about how, like, you know, grief isn't a personality trait. And they did flesh out that a bit more in the sense that they talked about how these characters, how Cameron and his sister were dealing with it and how that was affecting them, which is better. But it still was kind of like, he seems kind of fine. Like he's got a nice camera. He's got a good friend. Mm-hmm. Right at the end, they explained this thing through the sister of her being like, you've not been the same since mum died and now she's in your life, you're better. And it was like, well, I didn't know that until now. You've just told me that.
Why didn't you tell me that earlier?
Yeah, that was like the first, you know, why didn't she say that right at the start of the film?
Which is what we said about She's All That.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to give you character? I want to see a dead mom in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Sure,
you know?
Exactly.
Not that grief is a character, you know, trait, but like, give me the grief.
Well, and also get the sister in the first time we meet this Cameron guy. Photo of the dead mum, picks it up and goes, you know, you've not been the same since mum died. You don't smile anymore. Yeah. And he goes, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I'm fine. That's it. That's all you need. You know.
That's all we need.
Because it just means that there was no sense of transformation for me.
They're all rich kids who live in California.
Yeah, they're all
even
fine.
The poor kids are rich and everything's fine. Have you seen the parties they go to? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was just kind of showing off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it the same high school?
I think it's the same high school. It was the same high school. Okay, I paused it to see and I think it's the same high school, all right? Because it looked the same and the archway looked the same and it all looked the same. Okay,
yeah.
Usher wasn't there. Right?
Usher wasn't there. Sarah Michelle Gellar wasn't there.
SMG wasn't there. But I'm pretty sure it's the same high school. And you know what? All right. Sorry. Can I just pick this up and pivot for a second? Okay. Mm-hmm. Who was this movie for? Yeah. Okay. Who was it for?
Well, also, are the TikToking young kids nostalgic about She's All That? Like, do they know about She's All That? Will they remember it? Will they get the references?
I don't think they will, but you know who will get the references? Me.
Old people. I mean, you.
Me.
What?
Young, old millennial people who are still... Listen, all right? I'm still, as the kids say, jiggy with it, and I also... have the TikTok app on my phone, all right? So, you know,
it's your one ticket to coolness.
Yeah, I've never opened it, but I did download it. And, you know, I like bands, and I visit their official websites, and I also like, what's going on with Harry Styles these days, right? Because young person.
Yeah.
My point is, hey, guys, Hollywood or Netflix or whatever, you decided 22 years later to make a new stab at an old story and make He's All That. And you even decided, let's bring back two of the people who were in this movie. Let's bring back Rachel Lee Cook.
But not in the same characters.
But not as the same characters.
Why wouldn't you do that? It seems so obvious to me to do that.
She comes back. It's Rachel Lee Cook. Who is it? Is it Lainey Boggs? Nope. Just a hardworking nurse who's tired.
That her daughter is really ashamed of for some reason.
Whose daughter's ashamed of her mom.
If she was Lainey Boggs, she could then be like, I know what you're doing to this kid, and it's not good, and you should stop.
Because I've been there. Because I've been there. Exactly.
Conflict.
My ex-husband, Zach, right, did that to me, and he was
did
a
that
real
to me, and you know, it was all
man.
fine for a bit, but then I realized that he was a terrible, entitled man. Yeah, it seems really strange to not bring, like, the wisdom... And the fact that the audience knows that this has happened before in the cinematic world of She's All That. You know,
we're not idiots. We've seen She's All That.
Yeah,
right?
We know what's happening. It just feels tired.
And also, what's his name? The Spring Break guy. What's his name again?
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard's there. Who, by the way, was pretty good as the principal.
Yeah,
I will say he was really good. Let me just say this, okay? Oh, I'm so fired up. I'm actually probably peeking on the. Let me just talk quietly. I'm probably peeking on the microphone. I'm making people's ears. And, you know, I don't believe in vocal fry, but I do believe in what's that thing where ASMR? All right, here's the thing, all right? Okay. Do you remember Do you remember in the 1970s and the 1980s when little old George Lucas released a couple of films called Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Yeah, the ones with the planes and they were in the space and they had the furry costumes and they shoot
the TARDIS.
You know, he shot first.
Voldemort.
Right? I know what
Yeah,
you're doing.
Star Wars, yeah.
I get it. Young people are all the same, right? We take references and then we just rip them up for our own, joy and sarcasm.
Am I doing that thing where you're trying to tell a story and then I just start sabotaging it by saying a bunch of stupid
exactly.
Sorry, I'll be quiet. Tell your story.
I have a young friend who often refers to Nirvana as, quote, the naked baby band. And you know why? Because he doesn't understand, A, nostalgia, or B, one's place in the world, okay?
Sued by the Naked Baby Band, should be. Carry on.
Sued
I'll be
naked,
quiet.
right?
I'll be quiet.
My point is this. Do you remember Star Wars? And then eventually
Yes.
they tried to make new Star Wars in the 2000s, but they did it bad because they used computers and everyone was sad, right? And then eventually they made good Star Wars again. And you know what they did? They used references and puppets. And the point was they made those movies to wink and shake hands with a nostalgic audience who appreciated the original work, okay? I'm just saying that when watching He's All That, and you know me, audience, Emma, humans of the world, I loves me some rom-coms from the 90s, right? And She's All That, pivotal in my life. I expected, nay, I believe I deserved a certain amount of references and reverence to a classic, okay?
Yeah.
Here's what I got in total as referential, pathos, okay? I got Rachel Lee Cook and I got Matthew Lillard, but they're not playing the characters that they played in the original movie, so that's in and of itself disappointing, right? I got the same plot, but it's different, so I was a little disappointed. I did like when the guy said, am I a bet? Am I a fucking bet? Right? Because that's the same quote from the movie, right?
Yeah.
That was good. And then finally, one other thing, Rachel Lee Cook at the dance goes, oh, I recognize this song. When Kiss Me, ba-na-na-na, when Kiss Me is playing. And that was fine, if awkward. But my point is, for us diehard fans, and I feel like that's the people who you're making this movie for, or maybe I'm wrong, where are the references? Where's the homage? And more importantly, why are you making a film for why are you making who is this movie for? It's not for me. Disney, Netflix, Coca-Cola, KFC, Pizza Hut, whoever made this movie is a lie.
I have two things to say in response to that. One of them's related, one of them is not related.
Cool beans.
The first one is that I think they should have either made it in the same place with the same actors or with some of the same actors with references to the first one.
Yeah.
But as a literal sequel in the same universe.
Yes.
Or they should have made it in a totally different place in a totally different way.
I agree.
I think it was just I don't think it worked to do that because it felt kind of soulless.
Yeah.
And it's that weird thing where the movie says to you, I know that you know about this, but we're not telling this in the story. We're just kind of telling you. I saw the movie Free Guy the other day, which was really good. And they have a moment in there, which I won't spoil, but it's basically just like a very sudden, completely disjointed reference that you as an audience member go, oh, cool, it's that. But it doesn't actually make a huge amount of sense within the story. And you just kind of feel like, it feels like you're being sold something or you're being, it's kind of fan servicey. So yeah, if I would have liked to have seen He's All That, but it's in like, a French high school or something. It's just in a completely different place and setting.
Why did it need to be in California?
Wyoming or New York. Even if it was just like, New York, it was just a different thing. That would have worked for me.
The thing I liked about The thing I liked about She's All That, you got someone who is a social outcast, Lainey Boggs, also she's fine. And you've got, I don't know, a real drive from your man, Zach, to turn her into the prom queen. I felt like She's All That was very like straightforward. Here's the thing. Here's what we're gonna do. Kids are terrible. Let's go to a party, and then we'll figure out what happens at the end. We'll fall in love. This movie was like actually both the Zach and the Laney Boggs characters. They were the same. They were both Laney Boggs, right?
Yeah.
They're both trying to prove something and also living a lie and also like not what they put them. It didn't make any sense, right? This should have been called Nobody's Anything, right? Right?
Neither of them are that or this.
And not to hark on about it, but it's like, who's watching this movie? Tweens? Like you said, they don't have nostalgia for She's All That, a movie that came out 20 years before they were born, right? And their parents are watching it going, isn't that movie with Rachel Lee Cook, but in the red dress and she takes her glasses off and everything, she's beautiful. It is Rachel Lee Cook, but it's not, because now she's a tired nurse and everything's terrible and everything's bad and none of these kids can act.
The best thing about this movie, in my opinion, was Kourtney Kardashian. She was Jessica Miles Torres, the brand owner that was sponsoring.
That's who that was? That was a Kardashian?
She was the best thing about this movie, and I will die on this hill.
She was such a bad actor.
Totally deadpan, soulless, robotic Kourtney Kardashian sitting on a flipping
Peloton
spin bike. Looking at her iPad going, I am your biggest supporter. No one has more faith in you than I do. Right. It was so good. I loved it. I would watch the entire movie, which is just that character played by Kourtney Kardashian ringing up tweens that she's got on flipping YouTube sponsorships, telling them how awful they are and how much she hates them. It was so iconic and I loved it. It was just, that should have been the movie. That's so much more funny to me.
Yeah. My only other note of this movie, actually, to your point, and in a way, was there was kind of too much going on in this movie. There were too many characters. I feel like simplify it a bit.
Yeah.
Which is what She's All That did, right?
Well, I don't know. I'm
Freddie
pretty sure.
Prinze Jr. We don't know anything about him other than he's smart, he's good at hacky sack, and he's trying to win a bet from Dooley Hill and that guy from Fast Five, right?
I'm pretty sure one of my criticisms at the time, I don't know, I have to re-listen to the episode, was that I thought it was a bit of a mess. But
you
that's
did
fine.
say it was
we
a
have
bit
different
of a mess.
We have different opinions, and that's okay.
Remember, it was a bit of a mess until two people came in to tweak it. Harvey Weinstein and M. Night Shyamalan, right? This movie had neither of those people, and as a result, it was... it's complicated because, one's a bad guy and one's a guy who directed The Sixth Sense. My point is, the movie could have been better, but it wasn't. And I don't understand who this movie is for. And for the record, IMDb, not that we follow it religiously, rates it at a 4.4, right? Which is bad. But guess what? That's not what this is about. What this is about is you and I did a twist to a movie, and then later Hollywood made it. And my question for you is, what other predictions have we made that are coming soon? Right? What's a twist we've done you think is going to happen in real life? What do you think?
Oh, gosh. This is it's very hard to remember the twists that we've done.
All right.
Do you find this?
It is, but I think I can remember them. Do you want me to quiz you?
Okay, Chris. Okay. Oh,
right.
God. What, you're going to describe the twist and then I have to tell you which film it was? Or the other way around?
I'm going to choose a film at random, and I'm going to ask you what you think the twist that we did in our podcast last year was.
Oh, God. Okay. All right.
Ready?
Hit me. Yep. I'm not going to be good at this, to be clear.
Question number 1.
Yep.
What was the twist from episode 30, That Thing You Do? You can do this. Do you remember? 1960s.
I remember.
They were a band.
Yeah, they're a band.
And
they're one-hit wonders.
Doing that thing you do. Right?
Oh my God, I really have no idea. Was it something about they become one-hit wonders, but then like everything goes like really, really terribly wrong for them? rather than it all being fine in the end.
Nope.
No, I can't remember. What was it?
I believe the bass player, played by Ethan Embry,
Yeah.
he realizes that he should have been in the band, and he tries to do everything he can to get into the band, and including murdering the band. Do you remember that?
Okay, that's starting to sound like us. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Episode 11, Empire Records. Do you remember what the twist was?
Oh God.
Come on.
I remember I really liked this episode. This episode has like a special place in my heart. I don't know why. It just felt very magical for some reason. I think it's because it's such a sweet little film.
It was sweet, wasn't it?
And it's the one where I pretended I hated it and then you were like really heartbroken about it.
Yeah, and it destroyed me. Genuinely destroyed me. Thanks for that.
I cannot remember. No, sorry.
This one was that thing where they have this like mixtape and they don't know what it means, and they go to the record store and
yeah. Oh God, yeah. And they travel through time. This was one of the first time travel ones. And they're trying to find all the golden record or something.
Culminating in an ABBA show in 1977 or something.
Oh God, yeah. That was a good one.
That was
fun. That could definitely be one that goes ahead somehow. Maybe it did. I think I said that in the episode. I was like, this is already a film.
The thing is, right, it's not dissimilar, by the way. So we did, and I don't want to claim we predicted this as well, but we did that episode back in, I don't know, like July of October of 2020, right? Oh. And around that time, a little movie called Bill and Ted's 3 came out, right?
And it was that.
And the plot to that movie was basically that. My point is we predicted a few movies, you know? Yeah. We have done 50 movies. You and I have watched 50 movies, right? Jesus, indeed. What do you think? What twists of ours do you think are going to be picked up by the mainstream media?
Well, the one that I obviously really hope one day happens, and I can't actually remember which episode it was, but it's the one where the trifecta finally unite, and it's Sarah Michelle Gellar and Melissa Joan Hart and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, all come together as the three witches.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
Did we talk about that during our episode Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
I think so.
Or was it during
Maybe
our episode of The Craft or Cruel Intentions?
Yeah, one of those.
No, it wasn't Cruel Intentions, because in Cruel Intentions, as we all remember, we talked about how they were all vampires.
Oh, they're all vampires, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a Buffy tie-in. What about you? What's your favorite twist that you want to come?
Did really like when we did Idle Hands and we talked about the 10 different ways that we thought the dude's hand was cursed, including but not limited to he's just a murderer and he's just a bad guy.
He's just a bad guy, and he's just pretending he has a cursed hand.
He's just pretending, right?
Yeah.
I did actually really like Cruel Intentions, where it turned out that it was the same, except that they were also vampires, right?
Yeah.
That was very good.
Oh, and Beavis and Butthead, but it's us.
That was my favorite one. That one was my favorite. Because the thing is, we would go to the museum, right?
Yeah. That was really good. And I'd spent the whole episode talking about how much I hated these characters. And then when we got to twisting it, but we're in place of the characters, we discovered we would do the exact same things that they would do. Yeah. That was good. That was a good one.
Look, cards on the table. We've watched 50 movies. 51 movies together.
Can I just tweak that sentence? I've watched 50 movies that you've told me to watch willingly as a willing participant.
There are a handful of movies that I've watched for the first time for this podcast, and most of them were a revisit. And I just wanted to say, look, from a person who lived the 90s to a person who was technically alive in the 90s but didn't live the 90s, rabbit ears. Thanks for watching nearly 100 hours of bullshit. For me. That means a lot.
You're welcome. On to the next
On to the
100 hours.
Hey, listen. You talk about 100
Oh,
hours, right? 100 hours.
It's a long time.
Should we tell our listeners what we're going to do for season 2?
Should we give them some clues?
Should we give them some clues?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clue number 1 is we're going to start with what I believe is Anders' all-time favourite movie.
Oh my God. Yeah. Is that going to be episode 1?
That's going to be episode 1, yeah. So that's clue number 1. Clue number 2 is... You're just going to give it away now.
Keep talking.
Clue number 2.
What's clue 2?
It's my favourite decade for music. And clue number 3 is that it's the 80s, as you can tell from Anders singing the Back to the Future theme song very obviously. You're going to get fair use, it's fine. Yeah, we're going to do the 80s
Papa
next.
don't preach. I'm in love with him. Papa don't preach, right?
And one thing I will say right now is
say it now.
we are really going to have to be careful.
What about?
And keep a lid on how much flipping singing we do in these
I don't
episodes
know what
because
you are
we both
talking
love
about.
it, and
You can dance if
there's,
you want to. You can
there's
leave your
so
friends
much music
behind.
in these
And if
films,
you don't dance to something,
and we're
don't
gonna
dance
have
the
to
1980s.
just
Yeah, you can dance. Doing the safety dance. You can dance.
jeez. So hey, listeners, if you like two people singing a lot and watching films from a time that they weren't really teenagers in, and you like the 80s, tune in to Plot Twisters Season 2, films from the 1980s.
You can dance. Also, I could do like a Rick Astley thing, right? You know, you've been Rickrolled.
Jeez, it's gonna be wild. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you there.
I'll see you there
in the future.
Hey, listen, something's got to be done about your kids.
My kids, what are they up to?
No. Actually, your kids are fine, right?
Okay, cool, good.
Right, but it's you and Marty. We need to sort you out. Do you remember that time when he was wearing 2 ties and he got fired from his company he was working for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, actually, turns out life gets really tough after that, and you have to sell all your belongings, and you end up living on the street. And you'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
Marty sells his kidney, and then he isn't so well after that.
Wow, I really hope we're going to have enough to talk about in our Back to the Future episode.
He has an imaginary friend. His name is Doc Brown.
I hope that we'll have enough to say.
Welcome to the Cafe 80s. This afternoon, even the noon. Right? Noon. Right?
Yeesh.
We're going to the fish under the sea dance. Hey, who's president in the 1980s?
I don't know who was president.
Ronald Reagan,
Oh.
the actor. Look, the point is, everybody, we're going to the 80s, all right? You can't handle it? Too bad. It's happening, right? We're doing the safety dance. Also, we're going to watch movies from the 80s. And also, brace yourselves. And also, it's going to be fine.
Hey, 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 hey.
Don't you forget about the plot twisters.
Thanks for listening to this episode
We're
of Plot
coming
Twisters.
back, season 2. Don't
Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Forget
See you next
about
time.
Plot Twisters.
Bye.
We're a podcast, season 2. Yeah, don't you?
Can we merge the two films?
Oh, okay.
Never been all that.